Good afternoon. It's Vijay here. Today is Sunday, 16th March 2025. Welcome to yet another weekend commentary where we discuss things outside the market's day to day fluctuations. Today's commentary, which I promised that I will talk about fallen heroes on the weekend, now the time has come. I'm generally not very happy to do such a session, but sometimes, one has to put the truth before everything because lots of people believe in the heroes, especially the market heroes, who build up stories and they are made, the retailers are made to believe that these are the guys who know everything about the market. Unfortunately for them, I've been in the market for more than 35 years, so I have seen the heroes rise and fall over a period of time. And some of these people whom I'm going to present, there are four heroes of whom I'm going to present, and these heroes, in my opinion, have fallen and made a mess of a lot of retail investors. And going forward, I think if we are going to blindly believe these heroes, we may get into trouble. So these are the heroes with feet of clay. Now, one of my heroes is Mr. Samir Arora, who is a guy extremely good in his job, extremely successful. In my opinion, he was the first person to detect the dot-com boom has crashed or is going to crash, and he got out of the shares at the peak of the dot-com boom. And he has been very honest and sincere, but I was suddenly surprised by his actions in the last few days. I will detail out here. Now, Samir Arora is one of those rare guys, apart from Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, I should say, who has been very bullish. Of course, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is not with us now, but I would say if anybody has to take the mantle on, it must be Mr. Samir Arora, who has been extremely bullish on India, though he used to run a long short fund. And once he's gone to mutual funds in India through Helios Mutual Fund, has been very consistent on being bullish on India. So as late as just a fortnight ago, he said we are in the end game of the market fall. So he didn't believe the market would fall any longer, or even if it's going to fall, it will be only for a short period of time. So every time when somebody asked him, he always said he was almost fully invested in the Indian stock market. So this is on 28 February 2025 in the Business Standard Monthly of 2025. He mentioned that we are in the end game. Now, what did he do? I have put a link also where you can check it out on YouTube. Now, what did he actually do? They have increased the cash allocations from 2%, which was there around end February, to 21%. 2% to 21%. All the time, he was mocking people like PPFAs who have a 21% to 23% cash allocation, which they have not invested. So Samir Arora always said that you should be fully invested, or at least say 95% invested. So they were 98% invested just before the last week of February. In the last week of February, he mentioned that the market is bottoming out. But suddenly it's gone into cash. If somebody is going to tell you that you should be fully invested in India, even in this fall, if the market is going to bottom out in a very short while of time, then why should somebody sell off quite a bit of shares? Now, more interesting than that, and he said this is the position as of the last day of the month, not 5 days before or not 5 days later. So a lot of people believed him, saying, "Oh, he's giving us the exact picture." But look at the horrendous nature of the picture. If you look at the picture, if he's actually having sold his shares on the last day of February, let's assume like that. So last day of February, things were very, very bad. So which means he has sold at the lowest levels. Now, he was a person who was always bullish on IT for the last 2 years. Not always. For the last 2 years, he's been completely bullish, and he believes that IT will lead the rally forward. He was also bullish on these platform stocks, whether you take Zomato, Swiggy, or the PB Infotech, those kind of shares, the new age stocks, you can say. So let us see what is done. Let us spend some time on the Helios Flexi Cap Fund is the primary fund of the Helios Mutual Fund. So what they have done between January and February. In January, they had nothing in ABB, Bajaj Auto, and Kotak Mahindra. They have added in February. 100% they have increased. Now, Bajaj Auto is one stock which is in autos. Now, he was dead against autos, which I will share in the which they did some months, weeks continuously, he has been bearish on auto stock. Now, while he said on Zomato and all that, let us see what he has sold. See this, KPIT Technologies is a technology company. Kelkar and Company is not, but it is something, let's say, unusual company. Coforge is the technology company. Tata Consultancy Technology. Then you got HCL Tech Technology, and the big boss of all, Infosys. In the interim, you also sold PP FinTech as a platform company, Zaggle Prepaid platform company. Then Ganesh Ecosphere is almost like a platform company. So, and Swiggy, which is a platform company. So you are saying that I am interested in new age businesses, but in the new age businesses, Piramal Pharma, everybody said that they are going to be the beneficiaries in the next few years. So he has thrown out Piramal Pharma. Indian Hotels, he said, is one of those really strong performing stocks because of the focus on infrastructure and focus on tourism. And Indian Hotels has been doing well. He's thrown that out. HAL, defense stocks, he's thrown that out. So I do not understand the logic. So you're zero in Infosys and Swiggy and TCS and Coforge, APIT. So how can you tell the world that I am bullish on technology and get out of technology lock, stock and barrel? Same thing with the new age stocks. Now, there was an interview between Govindraj Etiraj in end December where he said the auto industry in India is screwed. These are the words he used. The auto industry in India is screwed. They require huge investments to keep pace with changing technologies. Bajaj Auto also is going from IC to the EV technology. So basically, he included Bajaj Auto, four-wheeler stocks like Maruti, Tata Motors, and M&M in that thing. The auto industry is a capital destroying industry. This is what he said in the core report. Mr. Govindraj Etiraj, well-known journalist, and is the author of that. And Samir Arora told this in end December. That means less than 2.5 months. And here he has gone and bought into these auto stock like Bajaj Auto. So you see, he says, established two-wheeler firms are fighting with Ola and Ather for the same set of consumers. Who is the established two-wheeler company? Bajaj Auto, Hero Moto, and Tata TVS. Bajaj Auto is one of those, really the one in the forefront. And you see here, then he also mentioned with this Zomato and Swiggy, he's talking of, something good about them. But then he has gone and sold that. The second hero who, has misled investors, I should say, is Shankar Sharma. Shankar Sharma, with his wife Devina Sharma, whom considered Devina to be the brain and Shankar to be the marketing guy. He made his money in the 90s and now. But if you look at First Global, even their mutual fund NAVs, they have not beaten the market in the last 6 months. But of course, Shankar Sharma is no longer with First Global, and we don't know exactly what his portfolio is. But whatever he said in June of 2024, that is soon after the election results, if you have cash, buy good small caps on correction. And he said also, small caps are the future of equity markets in India. Large caps are too big size for the economy. And so on small caps, what he said, if you want to become richer or richest, small caps and mid caps only you can become, not through large caps. I think India is a land of small caps and will continue to be so. This is the last 6-8 months. And he said 70% of the stocks, Sensex stocks, won't go anywhere. So you bet on small caps to compound your money. So if you want to go from penthouse to a slum, if one buys HDFC Bank, you won't go there. But if you want to go from slum to penthouse, you cannot go if you buy HDFC Bank. Now, recently, in the last week, he said, I wanted to sell, I sold all my small cap stocks between July and September. In June, you tell us that India is a land of small caps, invest in small caps, and now you go and sell everything between July and September. What changed? Nothing. And now he says, I am sold whatever I could. I'm unable to sell other small cap holdings. I'm hoping for a bull market in 2030. So he is not having any hope of any bull market between now and 2030. That also is hoping. And he says, at that point of time, I want to sell off my holdings. So you mislead people. You got media at your, beck and call. You go on interviews. You go on, the business channels, Manthan, or any of the special conferences which they hold, and you tell us to buy while you come and sell. In my opinion, Shankar Sharma should be investigated as to what shares he asked. For instance, Brightcom, we all know, he jacked up the price, sold it to the retail investors, and he vanished. And he said, I lost money there. We have to investigate. In June, you tell us that it is the best place to be, small cap. You will go to a penthouse from a slum. And between July and September, you're selling everything. Now he says, golds, FDs, and land. That is the secret sauce to be invested in India. Gold, FDs, and land, not stocks. He says this is what he told his family: stay away from stock market and mutual funds. And he says they become extremely rich because they have stayed away from stock market and they have invested only in gold, FDs, and land. Now, if that is the case, then why is he coming and touting us to buy stocks? How is he different from any fraud influencer who is telling his family one thing, do not go into stocks, and tells us to go into small cap, and then he sells the small cap? What kind of people are these guys? How do they get sleep? Look at the other guy, who is my contemporary. We both managed broking houses in Chennai in the late 90s. I had great respect. Recently, he came and said, do not get into SIPs. Do not buy small caps. Now, what did he say? If you go back and see, in 2023, he said, get into small caps. Large caps to take spotlight in 2024, he says. Yeah. Large caps, he says it will take this one. And next month on 9 December, he asked investors to exercise caution. 1 week later, he says 2024 will be year of large caps, but mid cap and small cap outperform large cap significantly in 2024. So you say something and you do something. Then you say here, he said in world of moderate returns in August 23, he said in August 24 you will have only moderate returns. Next year, Nifty 50 went up by 25%. I know it's very difficult to predict the market, but then why are we listening to them? That is the question which you need to answer. Then he said in September 23, you cut allocation in small and mid cap. Mid cap and small cap next year index went up by 50%. Even today, with the crash in the indices and the small caps and micro caps and mid caps, the prices of even January 24 have not come. January 24. Forget about September 23. Okay. So that is the kind of advice these people give. That is one thing. Okay, we can always say we can never predict the market, we can make mistakes. Now let me tell you, these guys tell us that they do great amount of research and then they invest. Now let us look at the IndusInd case. Now IndusInd case, apparently the problem has been going on since October. Now which means the quarter October to December, at least the so-called analytical mutual funds should have reduced their stake. Now this gentleman manages, look at the DII numbers. The DII numbers in September 24, they held about 34%. In December 24 quarter ending, they held 42%. While the FIIs reduced from 34 to 24, DIIs using our retail money went and bought all those shares. Among DIIs, just look at ICICI Prudential India Opportunities Fund, where this gentleman is the fund manager for years. And he keeps telling us that that is the best performing fund. Now you look at it, in June ending, they were holding about less than 2% of IndusInd stock. Then they increased it to 2.68. Then in December, they increased it to 5.07. I think they should be investigated. Why? Because why were they buying so much? What happened between June and December? In fact, results of June were very bad. Results of September were very bad. December were very bad. So why are these guys going and increasing stake like this? Are they helping the management which started selling shares in the quarter of September and December for an exit? Is there some backroom dealing? I think SEBI should be investigating this. Even if SEBI does not investigate, I think the retail investors should ask questions or at least remove their money from this. He mentioned remove money from small cap. This is not a small cap fund. This is a flexi cap fund, and this IndusInd is a large cap stock. So when they are doing this kind of what I call hera-fairy, we should be boycotting that fund. I don't have any respect for these gentlemen who have changed, who have said something and done dramatically different. You should be true to your word. Nobody is right all the time. But if morally, ethically, you can't give me a lecture. I don't give lectures to anybody. So if I make a mistake or if I do some mistake, it is okay. But these guys are holding retail investors' money who have trusted them thinking that they are gods, gods of investing. These gods of investing have feet of clay. Very clearly, I'm pointing this out. And the final guy, Saurabh Mukherjea, was a guy who used to come on TV every time and boast, saying, "My family money is uh, in my funds. So therefore, whatever I'm doing, I'm seeing that I'm taking adequate care. The investors are like my family." So just look at it now. After 4 or 5 years, he says, "We pop is buy at any price." He says we should buy stocks at any price so long as they're good. Now you see what has happened. The performance has lagged. You see they have delivered only 9%, whereas the Nifty 50 has gone up by 16%. His little champ's portfolio, where he was saying he is doing great amount of research, has given him 8% return, whereas the benchmark BSE 200 has gone up by 18%. So, friends, I don't say I know everything. These guys claim that they know everything. So, in such a case, I have proven to you documented evidence that these guys are playing mischief. I think retailers have to beware. They have to ask questions to these guys. The authority should ask questions to these guys, investigate them, and find out why they're doing what they're doing. So I feel very bad to mention this because they were my heroes. I looked up to them. Today, sorry to say, I don't look up to any of these four gentlemen. I've read Saurabh Mukherjea's books. I follow both Naren and Samir Arora very closely. Same thing with Shankar Sharma. I have got great respect for the company First Global, especially Devina Mehra. And today we are in a shape where we have to hold them as villains and not heroes. So here I am telling you, I'm not a civil research advisor. There is no advice here. So whatever you do, I hope you are successful next week. I will join you tomorrow morning before 9 o'clock. Thank you.